before we get started, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button and turn on the bell notification so you know when we upload. Jing Yang Guile, Huayang Laudo, happy Chinese New Year's and welcome back to Season 2 of Rugby Heads, powered by the Big Athletic Club. Welcome back as we kickstart Season 2. Hope you didn't miss us too much over the Christmas and New Year's break. Back for another season, and we have our token Kiwi nerd, Alfonso Horomia, and our Fijian international Mr. Worldwide, Nemani Nandolo.
Hey mate, how are you guys?
Welcome boys,
Let's go, boys.
Back for another season. A quick little rundown of today's show. If you've forgotten how it goes, we start off with our top performers of the week, our opportunity to give flowers to the players who stood out for us over the weekend's play. Then we go around the ground, starting off with 7 series over in Perth, followed by our Six Nations preview, and then quick little update around the grounds of the pro leagues around the world before we end with our yesterday's heroes and viewers' questions. Now, Nems, you want to kick us off with your top performer of the week?
Yeah, so my top performer of the week, I'm going to have to go with the Uruguayan sevens team to not only knock off Fiji but New Zealand on the first day and to make it to the quarters.
Yeah.
I mean, I know we'll delve into it later on, but for me, it has to go to them. You beat New Zealand, fair enough, but then you go and beat Fiji again. Yeah. So that's my team. My team of the week. Uruguayan sevens team.
Nice. And Fons, who stood out for you over the weekend?
Just to touch on Nems, I wonder what they're paying out at the TAB on day one.
Surely nobody would have picked them.
Yeah, mate, I'm telling you, there would have been a lot of money. My pick of the week, there was a few good plays on the weekend, but obviously can't go past Marcos Moneta from Argentina.
Yeah.
He is just fast. Right. I mean, when you're fast, when your teammates are just putting in kicks out the back, so go chase it. We know you're going to score. So, man, he's electric. So that was my play of the week, Moneta.
Good shout. Yeah, and I don't know why Nems was surprised about Uruguay beating Fiji. I don't know if you remember World Cup back in Japan, but we'll keep that one in the past, mate. We'll keep that one in the past. I also had Uruguay, but I knew someone was going to steal it, so I had a backup. And I've gone Heidi Dennis from the Australian team. She's one of the young guns. She's still only a teenager, and they had Maddie Levi missing in the final. I thought New Zealand were going to comfortably win this, but the baby Aussie Sevens girls stood up, as well as Charlotte Caslick. So Heidi Dennis scoring 2 tries in the final against the New Zealand Sevens to scrape away with the win. So my performer of the week was Heidi Dennis. All right, let's go dive in around the grounds into the sevens over in Perth. Argentina upset the home team from Australia in the men's final, and the Aussie women's get payback as they win in a nail biter against NZ Sevens. Nems, which other players stood out for you over in Perth, and what stood out for you on the weekend?
Oh, mate, good to see Longbottom for the Australian team get a play. I think had his knee strap, so hopefully he's all right, but he's got to play more. I think that guy, when he comes on the field for Australia, he's electrifying. And I just feel that Australia, they don't get me wrong, like the seven, they don't play. They're not a flair team, right? They're very structured side.
Yeah. So
they do the basics really well, and they're really fit. And at the breakdown, they're really tough. Some games they're good, some games they're not. But just to have someone like Longbottom, they have to add a bit of flair. I just think they need that a bit.
Yeah.
I dare say Australia's probably one-dimensional a bit in sevens, and like against some teams they do well, but I like it when Longbottom is playing. He just adds that, he's just a bit of worrying for the defenders, and so I was happy with him. Look, I don't think it was an upsetting Australia. I think Argentina were expected. They played really well, and I wasn't surprised with the scoreboard. It would have been good for Australia to win, but at home, but this Argentinian team is just going strength to strength. Just the way they play. It was just like the weekend of the South Americans, right?
Yeah.
Spain did well. Uruguay did well, obviously, and then Argentina. But I was probably disappointed with Fiji and New Zealand. I kind of had high hopes. Springboks, as always, they do well, obviously without some key guys. But I dare say the Fiji New Zealand team probably fatigue the week before. They played in the Coral Coast in Singapore, and mate, I was there. and I was losing calories and sweating just sitting in the stands. So you can imagine the Coral Coast is unforgiving. Fonz, you've played there, and you would have played it. Like, actually, this year is actually done really well. Apparently, it's the best it's been with all the, the field was perfect. So you would have played when it was a sandpit, mate. So I think they were fatigued from the week before because they played a 3-day tournament, in 40-degree heat in Fiji in the Coral Coast. It was great for us who watched, and it was a great spectacle. But I think fatigue. And then from there on Monday, you've got to hop on an 8-hour flight to Perth. Yeah. So was it a smart idea? Maybe not, but you live and learn. And in Australia, I saw on social media, everyone's going, oh, why is Fiji and New Zealand under the weather? And I was like, mate, we've just played 40-degree bloody rugby in Singatoka in the heat. So, but no, it was a good tournament. The women's side, Australia, good to see. I was happy for Australia to at least one Australian team to win it at home. But how great was the crowd?
Yeah. The Kenyans.
The Perth crowd. Like, I was surprised, to be fair, and I'll give them that. I was really surprised. I was actually rubbishing it a little bit, thinking no one's going to go. Yeah. But I ate some humble pie. Seems like everywhere but Sydney and Melbourne, people are rocking up to watch rugby. So keep it out of Sydney and Melbourne. Well, not Melbourne. Keep it out of Sydney, and it might be good. Yeah. But it was great. It was great to see. It would have been good to be there on the weekend. It was awesome to see on TV anyway.
Yeah. The Kenyan crowd was insane. I thought when Joey Lyle was sending me snaps, I thought it was just the Fijians just trading jerseys after Fiji wasn't doing too well. But it's good to see the Kenyans back.
Oh, he's a funny joke, that's all right, mate.
And Fonz, I know Nems made up. He was talking about the Coral Coast. You played there. Was Nems just making up excuses for the boys, or is it play on, mate?
To be honest, I was going to bring that up. I do think there's a little bit of fatigue from the Coral Coast. I think that's it could almost be like a world circuit, that Coral Coast, because there's just so many tough teams there. I mean, New Zealand and Australia went there and they didn't even make the final. What does that tell you? So, but I looked at the videos at the Coral Coast. It looked a lot more organised than when I played 12 years ago there. So, mate, great tournament. I do think there is a bit of fatigue with New Zealand and Fiji, not taken away from the Latin American teams that are doing well. I think it's great for Sevens that, I looked at the table at the moment. There's 3 teams coming in first place and equal at the moment. And it's great to see those smaller teams actually making big moves in sevens. I do think also, though, with New Zealand and Fiji, they have lost a few players after the Olympics. That's normally the nature of the beast. Guys pick up contracts or some guys retire. Yeah. So, but still, I don't think it's a big excuse for obviously some of the results that the Latin American teams are happening at the moment. Mm-hmm. So it's great for the men's side to see that, but the women's side, New Zealand, Australia, how good's watching those two teams play in the final. They've been the benchmark for so long. You said it yourself, Tony. Levi, she was out. That was Maddie, of course. But look, they found a gem in Dennis, obviously. She's like 19, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. So she's very young, and I think she had a background in football as well. So, what a talent. It opens up the door for another player, but also Michaela Brake, obviously just been married, new last name, and she's still scoring tries at will. 250 tries now, so she's moved into the top, I think, 5 try scorers in both men's and women's of all time in these circuits. So big for her. Just a couple of things I've heard from the sevens side, though, for news. There's been reports about huge financial losses in the World Series, anywhere from $33 to $55 million in losses from the circuit. And I think that's had to heavily reason why they switched it from 16 to 12 teams and have less teams on the circuit due to costs. Because the other big news that's happened in the last 48 hours that's been reported out of Spain is World Rugby's going to get rid of the Sevens World Cup altogether.
Oh,
So there'll be no
wow.
World Cup. That's been reported now out of a Spain media outlet, and their quote was deemed not important enough to continue. But I think it's more to do with a financial position. That's what I think. So interesting. Some big news around the sevens at the moment. So yeah.
Fonz, I've got a inside source there, mate, of my friend in World Rugby, not in Fiji, the World Rugby, not Fiji Rugby, World Rugby. And you're right, there is some crisis, more so financially for the game, and a lot of things were getting cut, and not only that, but like in all, I think in all areas of the game. So I wouldn't be surprised if the World Cup is canned, because they've got the Olympics, right? And I mean, for us rugby punters, it's not the same. We need the World Cup, but man, it'll be a big blow if the World Cup is no longer. Yeah, because we need that. I think we do. We've got the 15. You might as well take the 15 aside.
Well, it's interesting because, I mean, you have a world circuit every year anyway, and then obviously every 4 years. Yeah. And the other 4 years is the Commonwealth Games too.
It's got cut.
You got to remember. So that's quite a lot of sevens, isn't it? So, I mean, that's just reported. It hasn't been confirmed. So that's just in the last 24 to 48 hours, those speculations have come out.
Yeah. I do believe it did get cut from Commonwealth Games as well, the sevens. So maybe the Olympics will be the only big ding, and Hong Kong every year is pretty much World Cup anyway, so play on.
Yeah. Yes, baby.
All right, and then off to here. Around the ground, Six Nations preview kicks off this weekend, starting off with France hosting Wales. Now, Nems, no one is giving Wales any chance against the Frenchies in France. Do you see Gatland's men getting an upset here?
No, I'm one of them too. I'm not giving them a chance. They're gonna. It's going to be a tough old ask for them. Look, I just seen, if it's anything to go by the kit that I just seen on online, on the French kit, the Adidas stuff,
bro.
I'm looking at it easy 60. Bruhs. Like, I was already online trying to look at, but they haven't made my size yet, so I was just waiting for the 5XLs to come out. But, man, first of all, put rugby aside, how good is that kit? And like, bro, it's almost like it's not rugby anymore when the French are doing their marketing, eh? Like, it's almost like a scene out of Vogue magazine, you know what I mean?
That's how it should be.
Yeah.
Man, like, I looked at it, when I saw it, I was like, I didn't even think of rugby. I was like, oh, look, I'll get that. Let me go online. And it was only to large, the European size. So they're still making the Islander size, Melanesian, Polynesian sizes. So, because I'm sure those guys from Wallace wouldn't be having their size yet. But, mate, first of all, their kit's amazing. Saw DuPont, he's, what he was wearing was awesome. Anyway, on the rugby side of things, I just can't see. I can't, and I want Wales to do well. Like I generally do, but man, like they're probably thinking the same thing. Going, fuck's sake, we're going to France. You know what I mean? Like, man, we've got at least have Wales last, maybe Italy first. Even Italy beat them. So,
it's not looking good.
I can't see. This is going to be an easy one. France they'll play their strong team, and then. It's like hope and a prayer for our Welsh friends, unfortunately.
Do you actually think the Welsh are going to put their strong team? Because they do have Italy in round 2. Do you think they were going to rest their strongest team for the first game and then have them ready for Italy?
Bruce, key word you just said there was strong. Mate, they've got to play the team, man. They've got to play a team. No, seriously, like, what's their strong team? Like, you're going to put... And I'm probably going to get in trouble for this, but we're going to put rest Cardiff Blues and play Newport Dragon Boys. Like, it just doesn't work, man. No, like, this is the thing. Like, I'm actually... You can't rest them. They've got to play. Yeah. I mean, old Gatland might have to put on some of his boots as well like, I feel for him. I really do. Like, taking the piss aside, I really hope it's a close game. It's been 2 years, and you feel for him. Like, I remember I caught up with him here, a good friend of mine, he's playing the Welsh team, Tommy Raffel, and like just talking to him, and he's like, the boys are just showing up, and like it is tough for them, and like they're just, the boys too are just rocking up, and it's tough to rock up knowing that it's going to be a tough sort of. You guys know what it was like playing in, losing teams all the time. Tony, you were at West for a bit when they were in that losing period.
Yeah, like you said, you just got to keep showing up. You just got to keep showing up.
When Freeney was your nemesis in those games. So we've all been there, mate. Oh, man.
Yeah.
But, I feel for Wales, but I just hope that team in general, the 23 that's picked, God bless them, they'll do well.
Yeah, like you said, mate, you just want to see that there's a bit more, there's still fire in the belly in Welsh rugby. Fons, let's go score prediction. Do you think it's going to be close or?
Well, I think it's going to be close. I reckon it is going to be close. In the first 10 minutes, it's going to be close. So
all right. So I'm getting thrown under the bus here, and you're the nice guy. All righty, here we go.
But I just want to know who's going to read the eulogy out at the funeral when it's going to be a big massacre in Paris. Look. I've seen that French side. I saw that list.
Have you seen the squad?
Oh my gosh!
It's come on. That's not fair.
Jeez. Look, Wales. Well, it's no secret they're struggling at the moment. Gatlin's kept his job, and the team's got nothing to lose. So when you're in losing teams, the morale goes down, and you kind of searching and trying harder, and it's getting worse, isn't it? So
I just think.
Look, I don't think it's. I don't think it's going to be close. No, I don't think 60, but I think maybe 40.
Okay,
fair enough.
So okay, we'll go 40 plus on the old sports bet. Make sure you bet responsible as well. So on the first leg, we'll go France 40 plus. Okay, second game of the weekend, we got Scotland hosting Italy. It's been tight the last few years against these two teams, and Italy did get the 2-point win last year. Do you see Scotland letting go of this one at home?
Look, I've been really impressed with the Italian squad, like with the guys that they've actually come together. They've played really well the last few years, and I dare say they'll win a few games this year. But with the Scotland team, no Tuipulotu, he's out. Yeah. That's a big thing. That's big to not have a number 12 like that.
100.
It's going to be. I think it's going to be hard without having their captain there.
Yeah.
Tuipulotu, he's been really great for him. He's been instrumental in. His attack game has come a long way. Like, from when he first started. But also, he's always been a good defender. But I've just been really impressed. Maybe, I think this will be a very close game. I don't think this will be a blowout. Italy aren't your, if Italy rock up, they could upset Scotland this weekend.
I agree with Nems. Italy have improved, but I just think that Scotland team's too strong. especially at home. You just saw into last year the Wallabies towards the end struggled against them, and they're actually my dark horse, Scotland.
To win it
in this year's Six Nations, and they'll be up there. I don't know about winning it. You're putting words in my mouth, Tony.
I thought
you nearly got me there. So both of these teams have never won it, but that Scotland team, they have enough talent there to do the job. You're right. Tuipulotu is a big omission from that team. He is huge for Scotland. But I see Scotland winning. But I think 13 plus still.
13 plus, okay. Nems, you agree? 13 plus?
13 plus.
I would have gone one.
Yeah, go on. 13 plus.
Okay, we'll go 13 plus. Lock in Scotland, 13 plus. And then over the last game of the weekend, Ireland hosting England. England got 1 point win over Ireland in last year's game. Nems, do you see it going the same way, or do you think the Irish are going to be too strong?
No, look, I think the Irish will win this. I think, this is the game of the round. Let's forget about these other games. I think this is the game where everyone's going to tune in.
Yeah.
I'm going to pick England to win the Six Nations this year.
So they're going to lose this first game, but then win.
And dare I say, they're going to Grand Slam.
There we go.
Did you say England Grand Slam?
There we go.
Yeah, I did. I say England's going to win. No, I say they're going to win the Six Nations. I don't know if they'll win this game, but there's 5 of the games to win.
I thought I heard Grand Slam. Okay.
Yeah, the Grand Slam.
They will. No, it's not called Grand Slam, is it?
Grand Slams, you win every game.
Yeah, I reckon they win every because they got France at home this year. Their biggest one really is Ireland away, and they've done Ireland before.
Yeah.
Now I'm probably going to get pumped from the Irish supporters.
But Ireland have lost new coach. Well, assistant coach has gone up.
So England have France at home, I'm pretty sure. England, last few years under Steve Borthwick, I think this is their 3rd season under him now.
Yeah.
If that serves me right. This is their time to do well. I've been following them on social media. They've been training pretty hard. The Curry brothers are going to make history. Marcus Smith, again, your guy. Please, Steve Borthwick, please don't bring him off last 15 minutes. Keep him on there. That's when he comes alive. So Marcus Smith's at 10. He's going to be... I don't know if the teams come out, but I'd like to know who's playing at 9 for England. You know what I mean? So, and again, Ireland, they've got a lot. I reckon there's a lot. I reckon Ireland have more to lose than England in this game.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So, you know what I mean? And if they're firing, I dare say, man, England could fucking come away here.
All right.
Just.
It doesn't sound too confident, Fons. Are you getting to that over the earphones as well, or over this Grand Slam?
Sorry, mate, the reception is from down here in Melbourne, mate. I'm looking up and I'm talking to you guys.
Tony, I think he's just scared because you're going to chop it up and then rearrange his words and put some AI into it, and it's going to be plastered all over the social media page.
Mate, and it would just be tagged Irish rugby, Welsh rugby, all that. So.
Yes, but
no one's safe in this group chat, man.
Hey,
no one's safe on this rugby show because you sit there, you talk, you spill your heart out, right? And you got one jerk on here, one moron. He's like, yeah, right, you silly kid, gets on it.
Oh, it's the AI edit, mate. It's the AI edit, but
I do reckon this game will be close.
Yeah.
I still have Ireland to win at home. I think 1-12 though. But I can kind of see where Nems is going. I mean, both teams really had a mixed autumn series, you could say. I mean, England lost a whole bunch of games, but Ireland,
they beat Japan.
A couple of games there. Yeah, well, that's right. And but they've come a long way. I mean, that was autumn series back in November. It's now heading into February, and I do think this game will be very close. I just think Ireland just have a little bit too much from England. Not taking anything away from England. I still think England are a great side, but I just think Ireland just have a little bit more at the moment.
Yep. So,
yeah, close game for sure.
Okay. We'll go looking 1-13, is it?
1-12. Which way are you going, Tony?
Yeah, that way. 1-12, mate. I would have gone 13 plus, but yeah, we'll lock in 1-12.
Oh yeah.
I just think Leinster have been on fire lately, so I think they're just going to crack on. All right, quick little update around the grounds. I'll go with the Japanese League One update. 5 rounds in, and Panasonic are the only undefeated team in the comp, sitting pretty at the top, followed by Charles Butao's Blue Revs and Maunga's Toshiba and Bernard Foley's Kubota, all tied in second place. My standout so far in the first 5 rounds has been Valence Tafade. Surprisingly quick. He's been playing on the wing a lot, so surprisingly quick. He looks fit. I know he spent the last few seasons over at Redcliffe Dolphins in the NRL, and he looks good. But Damien Diolende is on another planet at the moment, playing for Panasonic. He's just like he's playing touch footy. And then also Nems' mate Mano Lemeki. I know he's been a standout in his team, probably the only standout in his team, scoring tries for fun, even though their team's not getting the win. But it's good to see Japanese rugby. I still think it's one of the most entertaining leagues in the world. So yeah, that was my Japanese League One update. And then we'll cross over to Fons URC.
Yeah, URC, it's pretty much in the middle of its, obviously, their season. They were having 2 weeks off due to the Six Nations. You talked about Leinster just briefly. Still undefeated, 10 wins in the URC, plus the 4 wins from the Championship Cup. They're 14 out of 14 this year and going very well. They had a good win on the weekend, actually, against the Stormers. And they only had 2 of their Irish boys because the rest of them were getting arrested for the Six Nations. Which was Dan Sheehan and James Lowe. So to have the depth that they have at Leinster at the moment and still winning, it just shows you the club they are at the moment. Obviously, RJ Snyman, Geordie Barrett's there. But, you know, the Stormers, they're struggling big time. They got some injuries in the URC at the moment. There are a lot of injuries. And there's been a lot of talk over in South Africa. I personally, I'd like to still see them come back to Super Rugby. I just think with the calendar in the URC, it's a 12 months of the year. They're just not even getting a rest, a lot of their players, because they're switching back and forth between internationals and domestic competitions. So, look, I'd love to see them back. They're doing well in the URC. I can't blame them for being there. I do think the Bulls are doing well as well.
Yeah.
Heading into this break. They're sort of tracking well. Them and obviously Glasgow Warriors, that's the other team that's doing well. They're coming in second place. But I think the play at the moment that's been playing well is actually, sounds a bit biased, but I reckon Geordie Barrett's been playing well for Leinster since he's come in. He's played 6 games already, 3 tries. He's been man of the match in one of those performances. He's also played at fullback. And I think he's been keeping Robbie Henshaw on the bench for a lot of the time, and he's the Irish centre. Yeah. So that shows you a lot of depth that they have there at Leinster. But the URC seems to be trucking along just nicely at the moment.
Yeah, it's been unreal seeing Geordie Barrett playing in that comp. So it'll be sick to see more players do the same. And Nems, did you get a chance to do the Prem update?
Yeah, just before I start, Fon's on the Barrett keeping Henshaw to this on the sideline. I think Leinster just want to get their 600,000 euros out of him before he heads back to Super Rugby. So I would, I'm sure Henshaw is just there enjoying the next 3 months or however long it is. Yeah. But yeah, you're right, mate. How good is it that they can get a player that's not injured and play through? Like, Jesus, touch wood, he makes it through. Yeah. He's only there short term, right? Yeah. How good is it though? Like the returns for a club, you get some players who go over there, get injured, and that's that. He's actually gone over there, and he's just like he's adding value. He's playing, he's performing. He's carried on. He's playing what he normally does. So it's good to see. I think it's a great investment, and I'm sure he's not going to be on those flop video transfers of the decade. Those flop transfers of the year or whatever. I think Leinster and their fans have got their money's worth out of him. So, but anyway, moving over across the, I was going to say the Dutch, but across the English Channel. Harlequins 22 victors over Northampton. Exeter, big win over Saracens at home. That was a close game. Exeter, very young squad. Obviously the Simmons not playing, the Simmons brothers. Is it the Simmons brothers? Yes. They're over in France. So it's weird not having them in there. Sale 23 lost to Bath. So Bath won away. Hard to go over in Sale and win. Bristol training session against Newcastle 55-35. But for me, it was the Gloucester-Leicester game. It was a thriller, actually. It was actually a really good game. It's a derby, really, isn't it, with those two teams. But one guy that really played really well there was Isaiah Parisi. He scored first early in the game. Yep. He's been playing really well, man. Like, I don't know with the Australian rule, whatever, but he's been playing really well. Like, if there's someone at 13, to add depth to the Wallabies, he's definitely knocking on the door. But a guy that impressed me was Adam Radwan. So he came from Newcastle. I'm not sure if you know. He's a winger from Newcastle Falcons. Been there. He started his rugby there. He's changed over to done a mid-year changeover to Leicester, and he scored on debut. I think there's a video floating around of him stepping me, running back, then stepping me again. So, but Tony, take it easy, mate. So, yeah, actually, no, genuine, there is. And then you hear me swearing in Fiji when he passes me. Like, but yeah, I'm a big fan of him. He can play. Anyway, he scored. So Gloucester clipped Leicester in the end, 38-31. So Premiership's going really well. Again, it's evenly spaced out, but Bath actually seem to be the team to beat this year. So those private school boys or rich lads from down in Somerset, I think they are. So.
Nice.
Yeah, but no, all around it's good, and it is cold there, man. Some of those games, some of the night games, I always watch it. I'm like, boy, I actually played in that weather. How did I do it?
That's nuts, eh? But yeah, like you mentioned, Parise, it would be good if he's not playing for the Wallabies in that sort of the Kiwi Aussie select team that they're sort of trying to put together for that Lions tour. It'll be interesting to see who they actually put in that. So hopefully we'll find out some more news about that. And then I'll do Ironside's top 14. Had a quick look. Table on the top, still Bordeaux Begler, and then Toulouse and Toulon to round out the top 3. But big match over the weekend. Lyon had a 2-point win over Bordeaux, and Toulon also had a win over La Rochelle. So, and also big news over La Rochelle, they are getting the young Sio Kite. He leaves next week to join the Espoirs and also train with the top squad. So, mate, 17 next year. So, big boy. They have him down as a lock.
Mate, how did my old club Montpellier go? Are they still fighting for survival?
Montpellier have moved up to 8th place, so they're sort of safe from relegation. But Stade Francais don't look good. They're second last, so yeah, good. Also, the other Parisians, the Racing, down third last. So. I'm sure there's going to be some coaching movement. Oh, how good! There's going to be some coaching movement in the off season. Yeah.
Oh, mate. Let's start from say that's what happens when you have a chandelier in your gym. Bloody rock stars.
Well, okay. So that was our update around the grounds, and then we've got our new segment that we started towards the end of last season. Yesterday's hero, our opportunity to give flowers to some of the players that the younger generation now probably don't know. And since it's Six Nations time, I thought we'll go Six Nations flavour. Boys, Nems, you want to kick us off for your yesterday's hero?
Oh, Six Nations hero. I can't go past. I used to wake up to watch this guy play, and that was Frederick Michalak. Just, you remember when they used to have the night kit?
Yeah. It looked like
I swear, he had makeup when he played, eh? Like, honestly, just the way he ran and swerved. Anyway, I got to play against him a few times.
Yeah. Can you show us how he ran and swerved again, mate? Show us again, mate.
I played him. Oh, so he played just like, and then more possible. Anyway, we played him in a game. It was his last game. He played for Lyon, mate. Still the same. Like, literally, I was telling you how I thought, like, mate, this guy's like perfect, like makeup. I mean, he obviously didn't have makeup, but like just
dinner suit.
Mate, I saw him in the flesh. Doesn't sweat, and he was just like. He was bald head by then, but he was like, there's just still. Man, I was in awe watching him going. Fuck, they put 40 on us that day, but still, it was good to share a field with Frederick Michalak. He was one of my favourite players growing up. Just the way he played, the way he kicks goal. I kind of sort of try to. Copied the way he kicks, like with that swing.
Yeah.
Oh, so I used to kick back in my time.
Yeah, we'll put up a replay.
But the only difference is he was actually the size of a kicker, and I was the size of a hippopotamus. So, but yeah, Frederick Michalak, the coolness, like, mate, he was just
yeah,
mate. It was actually a boy crush, man. It was actually I got to meet him after the game, and I was just like. Oh, mate, like, everyone's like coming up to Messi, like all the best. I was like, fuck, You're my hero, man.
Yeah, he's wondering. Oh, you're only meant to kiss twice. Nems is still going.
Oh, fucking hell. But yeah, Frederick Michalak, c'est très bien, eh?
Good shout.
I'll just back on Freddie Michalak. He played at the Sharks, didn't he? He played some Super Rugby as well.
He did, yeah.
Sharks.
He played at the Sharks, and he still threw that forward pass from 2007 World Cup. I still remember it like it was yesterday.
Wow.
But we're not going to talk about that. We're talking about today. So, I actually didn't even have a Six Nations. I actually had a South African.
Oh yeah, play on, mate.
And I'm going away from Six Nations. Sorry, mate, but I just like this player just as much as Nems loved Freddie Michalak, and it was the halfback there in Fourie Dupree. I don't know if you played against him, Nems.
Mate, he's a freak, man, and good man too.
Yeah, mate, I actually think he's Africa's best ever halfback, even in front of you.
Wow.
That's how far I have him in front.
He's up there.
I mean, Fourie Dupree, I just remembered him coming on the scene. He was 2001. He made his Currie Cup debut for the Blue Bulls, and then obviously into 2003 he made his Super Rugby debut with the Bulls, and then made his Springbok debut in 2004, and went on to play 76 tests and 3 Super Rugby titles and 3 Currie Cup titles and 2-time SA Player of the Year. So absolutely, that's one guy I really admired when during the dynasty of the Bulls between that 2007 to 2010 era, and they won 3 and 4 years. I remember watching them in 2009, and they just shred to pieces my Chiefs in the final. It was hard to watch at 3 in the morning. Look, mate, what a great player he was for South Africa. Him and Mornay Steyn, 1-2 combination. I just think, I still think he's one of the best halfbacks ever to play the game too.
He played in Japan as well. I played against him when he was playing for Suntory.
He played 6 years at Suntory.
Yeah, true. Yeah, he played for ages there.
He got his pockets full and come home and retired.
That's it, man. That's when the Rand was probably at its weakest as well.
Wow. Yeah.
Good shout. My one was a former Welsh captain. I used to also wake up and watch this guy play, also playing club rugby. Colin Jarvis, one of the greats. 94 tests for Wales, plus 2 Lions tests to his belt. And although he didn't don the Jamaican jersey, he was the king of Jamaica. He was one of my favourites. He also had an afro back when I was a little kid. I used to love watching him. He got dusted a lot of times by the infamous All Blacks back row, but he always got up. Well, sometimes he got up. There was one time he had to get stretched off, but he always kept going, and he did bully the Wallabies when he did play. I used to hate him when I think he put a big shot on Ben Robinson one time in one of the games here in Australia. So Colin Jarvis, he was one of my favourite Welsh players back when I was a little skid, and that's my shout out for yesterday's hero.
I'll tell you a story about Colin Jarvis. We were in Tonga for the coronation game back in 2000 and I think it was 8 or 7. The King George V. Anyway, he had a coronation rugby game between Tonga and an invitational team. So in that team was me, obviously, Colin Jarvis, and on the other side they had George Smith, Mark Gerard, and all them. So it was that.
Oh, yep.
Anyway, so we're at Bilford Fish. There's a cafe in Tonga
on the wharf.
Yeah, a pub.
Yeah.
On the water.
Yeah.
So we were there, and on the sign in Tonga it says, "Watch out for the namu." So namu means mosquitoes, right? Yeah. So I got it. I was like, oh yeah. So that means watch out for the guys that try and come and ask you for beers and stuff. So anyway, we're drinking, and then he comes up to me and goes, "Mate, what's that? What's a namu?" I was like, I said, no, it means mosquitoes, man. Just watch out for the mosquitoes. Wait, my man pulls his mosquito coils out of his bag. The mosquito spray? Starts spraying himself in the thing. But that sign was for watch out for numbers, guys that come and,
steal your drinks,
ask you for drinks. So the man took it literally and started spraying himself in the bar with mosquito spray. So that's my story of Colin Jarvis. Mind you, that's wrong for the owners to actually put a sign there.
Yeah. Okay, quick little fantasy update. We will be dropping details on fantasy rugby as soon as possible. We're going to have a fantasy league. Boys, are you guys going to be locked in? We're going to have a top league, and then we're going to have a public league.
Yep.
So we're going to have...
yes, let's go. I cannot wait for this.
It should be a bit of fun. We'll banter against each other. We'll get some former pros to jump in as well in the top league, and there will be cash prize for the winner. It'll be good to follow through. And then we'll have a public league, so keep an eye out for that. And then Super Rugby preseason games this week. We're getting close to the kickoff of Super Rugby, but head over to your favourite Super Rugby club for details and get out and support your Super Rugby clubs. Okay, viewers' questions. We didn't have any viewers' questions because Tony forgot to put up the tile this week. But boys, thanks for calling in. But we'll finish off with shout out. Nems, who do you want to shout out for the first episode of the week?
Oh, I've got a shout out to the LA Rugby LA.
Oh yeah, Rugby Club LA.
Yeah.
So Rugby Club LA, new team. Big shout out to them. They were in Fiji. They played the Drua, Fiji Drua over there. I was following them during the week. Actually, I met some of their players. Some of them had been there for the first time, but for them to go over there, Horsley, to take the boys over there and play against the Drua, not only did they play against them, but they had scrimmaging. During the week they got to train together. So it was actually an experience. So hats off to LA for actually, for a team in the major league to come over to Fiji. I think we need to see a lot of that. Okay. I think, a lot of our Aussie players and Aussie boys go over there and play. There's coaches over there that are from Australia. I think we should see a lot of that, and for them to set the trend pioneers, I guess, trendsetters, mate, that's awesome. And as much as it did them a lot of good stuff, I think for Fiji as well. I was speaking to a lot of people over there, and they were saying how great it was for a major league, and now all of a sudden in Fiji they want to watch Major League Rugby. So if rugby in America wants to grow, Major League Rugby, get them over here, get them playing against the Reds, the Brumbies, whatever, get them over here, because that's how you're going to grow your game. We complain that we always talk about the sleeping giant. Mate, shout out to LA, awesome. Hope you guys had a good time in Fiji, and made some good memories.
Good shout. And yes, we will be, for the American viewers, we will be covering MLR this season as well. So good shout, Nems. And it's also, if the South Africans don't come back to Super Rugby, that's that good sort of reach out. If we do something like the Heineken Cup, it is, Fiji Airways do that flight over to US and Hawaii. So it could meet in the middle, maybe, possibly. So that's a good one to go. And Fiji Airways, if you're watching, please sponsor us. Thank you to them. And Fons, who's your shout out?
Just before that, you're obviously talking about fantasy. It's going to be awesome. I hope a lot of people get onto it, because it's going to be great this year for fantasy.
Yeah.
Because it's going to be obviously to do with the best domestic competition in the world, Super Rugby. Yes, I said it's Africa. Yes, I said it. So hopefully you guys come back.
Yeah.
And it'll be even better with yous. Shout out to Nems for getting us hookups over in Fiji, so we go over there and watch the Drua play and do a podcast over there.
Yeah, let's go.
It's on the pipelines, lads.
Yes, I love that.
Good chat.
You see what I did there? Just put it back on him, mate. There you go, Nems.
My phone's going off now. Shit.
Good chat. And the South Africans, please jump on the fantasy. I know a lot of I've seen a few TikToks of fantasy of some of the spring South African fans wanting their teams to come back to Super Rugby. Hey, if you guys still don't come to Super Rugby, you can still wake up, put on Super Rugby on the TV, and you just have to pick a new team. You're not supporting Stormers. You're not pick the Reds, pick the Force. Force are probably closer, and a lot of South Africans over in Perth. So just pick a team, tune in, and get the ratings up so we can keep our comp going. So shout out to everyone that actually listened last year. Shout out to everyone that bought merch. We're going to have actual Rugby Heads merch, not just the Big Athletic Club merch. We're going to have Rugby Heads merch coming out soon, so keep an eye out for that. Thanks for listening, guys. Boys, thanks for calling in, and we'll see you next week.
Ciao.
Cheers, boys.
Thank you, Danny.
See ya.